Hi, I'm Deborah Stangl, founder of Sedona Soul Adventures, and international best-selling author of The Journey to Happy, coming to you again from incredibly beautiful Sedona, Arizona, and I'm so glad you're here with me again. In these series of videos, I'm talking about concepts from my book, The Journey to Happy, how embracing the concept that nothing is wrong can transform your life. Processes that can help you feel a lot happier right away and help you to flip the switch into a better feeling state. Today I'm going to be talking about another breath process that has literally changed my life and changed the life of thousands of people around the world. It's a form of breath that I call inner journey breath. You might find similar methods that are called rebirthing or connected breath or holotropic breath work. All of these are somewhat similar. It's a process where you do connected breathing, meaning that there's no stopping between the inhale and the exhale. And when you do that, you don't go into hyperventilation. Instead, you can move into an altered state. I found this first in 1989, only the process that I was using at that time was called rebirthing. These processes were pioneered and developed by Leonard Orr and Sondra Ray for rebirthing, and Stanislav Grof for holotropic breath work. Stan Grof is a psychiatrist, and he had used LSD when it was still legal with his patients, and they had incredible transformational, life-altering experiences using it. In fact, when I read a biography of Cary Grant, he talked in his book about using LSD and the amazing impact that it had on his life. After LSD was outlawed, Grof figured there had to be a way to replicate what his patients were experiencing. And he started doing all of this studying and finally started studying the Vedas and studying the yogis in India who have been able to do absolutely incredible things with breath. And that's when he developed his process. Leonard Orr and Sondra Ray, almost at about the same time, were developing their process, which is very, very similar for rebirthing. So what happens when you do this type of breath journey? Well, it's different for everyone. In the over 25 years that I've been doing breath work, I've experienced seeing visions, release of emotional pain, release of energetic blocks, release of birth trauma, release of physical pain, connection with my high self, connection with my angels and guides, connection with souls who have crossed over, including both of my parents. I've received information on problems and situations that I couldn't seem to solve in my own life. I've experienced a real sense of peace, enormous gratitude, and a deep knowing that all is well and nothing is wrong. Over the past 16 years, we've developed a process here at Sedona Soul Adventures that we call inner journey breath. It's a very important process that we do with almost everyone who comes here to do a soul adventure because it's so incredibly powerful. We've had so many people who do this have just such incredible experiences because for so many of them, it's the very first time that they've ever really had a true experience of the divine, of really feeling like God is truly with them and part of them, and truly experiencing their own divine nature. We had a medical doctor here a few years ago, and she had an absolutely unbelievable experience and really went into the altered state. And she went back home and told all of her doctor friends about the experience that she had. And a bunch of them said, well, that sounds like LSD. Did they give you something? Did you drink something? And she said, well, I was drinking water. And they're like, oh yeah, that's it. They must have put LSD in the water, which of course we did not do. And then there was another woman who, as she was finished, she said, I felt like I was levitating. I mean, I really felt like I was levitating. And her practitioner was kind of teasing her and said, well, yeah, you came about 3 feet off the floor. And she went, I knew it, because she really felt like that's what had happened. another person who's actually a good friend of mine who I just met when she did her soul adventure for the first time, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that. When she got finished with her first breath journey, she literally lifted up the pad that she was lying on, and she said, "Where's the electrical connection? Because I was vibrating so much." And of course, there was no plug, there was no electrical connection. That was her own vibration, but it was so big and so huge that she assumed that it was something that was produced electrically. But for me, the most wonderful occurrences are those when people really experience the highest part of themselves, and when they really experience the divine on all the levels: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Have you ever really had an experience like that? There just aren't words to describe it. When I first discovered breathwork, it was in 1989, and I was at a low period in my life. I had just gotten divorced, and I had gone immediately into another relationship, and that turned out disastrously. And I really realized at that point just how codependent I had become in my life. And in fact, one of my good friends actually staged an intervention and said to me, "You have to get some help." And so I went through what was supposed to be a 4-week outpatient treatment program that was a 12-step program for codependency. It actually, for me, ended up being 6 weeks instead of 4 because I was such a mess at the time. And it was a very good program, and I came out of it feeling like I was happy that I had done it, but I felt terrible because we were told you're going to be like this for the rest of your life, and you can never change, and there's nothing that you can do to ever be different. And that just made me incredibly sad and depressed. And I was talking to one of my friends. She connected me with a woman who did massage, and I went to her for a massage, and then she was telling me, as I was telling her my story, telling me that she actually did breath work. She did rebirthing. So I did a session with her, and suddenly I can't tell you the amount of joy and freedom that I felt. It was just, I just felt completely filled up with joy and freedom and love. And as part of the program, every week I was going to meetings of adult children of alcoholics, and every week we would go around a circle and everybody would talk about how they were doing. And every week was pretty much the same thing, with everybody having the same old problems and talking about the same stuff. And after I had done the breath work, I started talking and I said, "Oh my God, I've just had the most incredible experience." And I told them all about it. And then what I was doing was I did breath work every week with her for a period of 10 weeks, and which was very powerful. And every one after that was equally amazing, where I would just end up feeling so full of joy and love. And I would come back to these meetings every week, and when it would come to my turn, I would start talking about how absolutely happy and joyful I was, and I was just feeling so happy, and the next person after me would say things like, "Well, I'm not feeling as good as Deborah is." And I suddenly started feeling that the people at this meeting didn't want me to feel good. They wanted to stay stuck, and they wanted me to stay stuck. And I wasn't willing to stay stuck. I felt like I had finally found something that had connected me to the core of my being and of who I really am. I had found what seemed to me to be the path of everything that I was looking for, and that was over 25 years ago. I still do breath work regularly. In fact, I just did it again a few weeks ago, and it's amazing to me how it's different almost every time. But the best part is that the inner journey breath has become a cornerstone of the work we do here at Sedona Soul Adventures. People have such incredible experiences, and then we teach them how to continue to do it at home. I love it so much when someone emails me and tells me about yet another wonderful experience that they had. Now, a breath journey is not something that you should do on your own. It's not like the yogic breath or the breath of fire that many people are familiar with in yoga. It's a connected breath and one that is designed to take you into an altered state. So that's why, especially the first time, you should not do it alone. And in fact, Stan Grof believes that people should never do breath work on their own because so many people have abandonment issues that come up. And so being alone is something that you don't want to do. I don't find that, but I understand what he's saying. The most important thing is to find a practitioner who is specially trained in doing this process. If you want to find someone in your area, try searching Breathwork Practitioner on Google, and hopefully you can find someone. Or even better, come to Sedona and do a breath journey as part of your Soul Adventure retreat. You will be amazed at what will happen when you do this process in the incredible energy of Sedona. And our practitioners are so amazing at leading you into that process. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, I hope you'll take the time to like it and share it with someone who you think might enjoy it. And also subscribe to our channel. And if you want an even more direct path to getting happy and staying happy, then go to SedonaRetreatGuide.com and get your complimentary copy of the Sedona Guide to Spiritual Retreats today. Or if you'd like to talk to someone about doing a retreat that's custom designed for you, call us at 928-204-5988. You can have the life and the relationship you want. I know it.